Today, we're taking a deep dive into one of India's IT giants, Infosys. We're going to look at its recent performance, which has been pretty strong, but also some of the big challenges it's facing. And, of course, what this all means for the future. So let's jump right in with a really big number. Okay, let's start with this massive figure right here. 18,000 crore rupees. That's about 2 billion US dollars. So what on earth does this huge number actually represent? Well, that's the total value of the huge new deals that Infosys have managed to lock down recently. It's a massive sign of confidence from their clients, and it really shows you they've got some serious business momentum going. So on the surface, everything looks fantastic. Which brings us to the central question, doesn't it? If the company is winning deals worth billions, why is everyone so concerned about what's just around the corner? It feels like a total paradox, right? And this chart, well, it shows that paradox perfectly. On one side, you have this really healthy operating margin, sitting at around 21%. That means the company is incredibly profitable right now. But then you look at the other side, their own forecast for future revenue growth is shockingly low, just 0 to 3%. And that's the puzzle we need to solve. Why is the present so good, but the future outlook so cautious? To figure that out, let's start with Section 1, the company's key strengths. You have to understand the foundation of their current success before you can really see the whole picture. Okay, so the company's core strengths are pretty clear. You've got that steady stream of big deals we just talked about, and their financials are solid. But honestly, the two things that matter most for the future are right here: a strong focus on AI and real leadership and digital transformation. These are the hottest sectors in tech right now, period. And that's really the key takeaway. These aren't just buzzwords for them. AI and digital services are the actual engines powering the whole company. This is what's helping them win those massive deals and keeping them right at the front of the pack. But that's only half the story. And that brings us to Section 2, the challenges ahead. Because if those growth engines are so powerful, you have to ask, what are the roadblocks? Is this picture really as rosy as it seems? This chart here really breaks down the major external pressures. You've got a potential economic slowdown in their biggest markets, the US and Europe, and that's a huge deal. It naturally leads to uncertainty in how much clients are willing to spend. Then, you throw in some really tough competition from rivals like TCS and HCL, plus the wild card of policy changes after the US election, and suddenly you've got a very, very challenging environment. And this is why the company is being so cautious. That super low 0 to 3% growth forecast we saw earlier, it's not a sign of some internal problem. It's a direct reflection of these very real, very significant global risks. Infosys is basically battening down the hatches, bracing for a potential storm. So all of this brings us to Section 3, and really the ultimate question on every investor's mind. Can the stock actually climb 20%? Let's try and weigh these strong fundamentals against some pretty serious external headwinds. This slide just lays out the two possible paths perfectly. The road to growth, that yes column, well, that depends on their key strengths winning the day. If demand for AI and digital just keeps soaring and their margins get even better, yeah, it's possible. But then you have the no column, which shows you the power of all those external risks. If the global slowdown gets worse or clients just decide to cut spending, growth is going to be an incredibly difficult climb. It's a classic tug-of-war between internal strength and external pressure. All right, we've covered the powerful engines driving the company and the serious headwinds it's facing. In our final section, let's put it all together and figure out the conclusion. So, what is the bottom line here? The general consensus from the analysis points to a cautiously optimistic outlook. Now, that's a very carefully chosen phrase, so let's break down what it actually means in this context. So being cautiously optimistic here means you're not ignoring those very real global risks we talked about. That's the cautious part. But at the same time, you believe the company's core strengths, especially its leadership in AI, are powerful enough to help it navigate those challenges and still find a path to future growth. And that's the optimistic part. So if we boil it all down to 3 simple steps, it looks like this. Infosys is showing really strong performance right now, but its own outlook for the near future is pretty uncertain. And that's because of global factors. And finally, its leadership in AI is the key hope, the wild card that could help it power through all those challenges. And that leaves us with the final critical question.
In this battle between internal innovation and external economic pressure, can Infosys's leadership in AI really be the decisive factor? Can it be enough to let them not just survive, but actually thrive despite a global slowdown? That's the billion-dollar question we'll all be watching.